So today we're going to do the handover and setup and review of the Sterling Eccles SE Quartz. So on the near side we have got an external 230 volt socket, so power out into the awning. Storage space underneath of the front seating, and then we've got an external barbecue point. This is the Bullfinch barbecue adapter that will be required for that. In the front we're set up for room for 2 propane gas bottles. Now it's propane, so it's a red 6 kilogram. Don't need any sort of special spanner, it's just set up on a hand wheel and you just do that up by hand. Reverse thread, remember, and then turn your bottle on. So as I say, no special requirements for any tools or anything, just do that up by hand. 13 pin electrics, so again make sure your vehicle has 13 pin electrics, or if not you can get an adapter from 13 pin to 2.7. This has also got the Alco ATC, and then obviously we've got the Alco stabilised hitch. On the off side it's got the Alde central heating, this model, so there's our flue for our Alde central heating, so that's our heating and hot water flue. Water inlet, so we plug our water connection into there and then into the Acrol. 230 volt hookup just goes into here, and then room for leisure battery just on the side. Towards the rear we've got our wastewater outlet, so all of our shower and sink wastewater is going to come out of there, and then we've got our cassette toilet. So at the bottom is the actual cassette itself. And then on that top one is our flush water, so we'll fill up the water and pink chemical at the top here, and then as I say the actual cassette is just at the bottom. Now to empty the cassette we fold out the emptying nozzle, remove the cap, and then we've got a little air button at the back, so we press that in, that lets air in, and that will empty that cassette out. If you're going to fill that up with a bit of water and blue chemical into the bottom. We've got a storage locker again just underneath of the bed. And then as we come into the caravan, just above the door we've got our main power controls. So we've got our power on and off. This will then tell us with a little light whether we're on the caravan battery or onto the vehicle battery, that we've got 230 volt connected in, and then if we press our view levels it will tell us what we've got coming off the charger or the leisure battery, and again if we've got the car connected it will tell us what power is coming from the car. Before we put our water pump on, which is that's going to pump the water through to the caravan, just underneath of our seat here we've got a little drain valve, so the little yellow switch, make sure that that is in the down position. Now to drain the caravan up we pop that into the upright position, open all of the taps up, and that will drain the caravan down. So if we want to drain it for the winter, or if we're not going to use it for a while, that's how we'd do it. So when we come back in we just need to make sure that's shut off, and then all of our taps are closed before we put that water pump on. Before I do that, just underneath of this seat here we've got our main 230 volt and fuses. So we've got a system shutdown button, so we always need to make sure that that is pressed in, or that won't give us any power on the 12 volt side whatsoever. We've got a charger button, and then we've also got our heating and hot water, so this will put the 230 volt power through to our heating and hot water system. Now again, because we've got a separate panel, we can put this on without the water system being full. Some caravans you can't put that on until you've got the water system full, so just make sure on your caravan that that is possible. On this particular one we can put that on, and then 230 volt trip switches, and then fuses just on this side. And again there's a little decal here that just tells us what all of our fuses and 230 volt connectors are for. So once we've made sure all of our taps are closed, we can pop our water pump into the on position, and we can start to get the water through the system. Now we had drained the system down on this one, so I'm filling it back up, and again it'll take about 4 or 5 minutes of coughing and spluttering On the cold side it will come through fairly quickly, but as you'll notice on the hot side it's going to start coughing and spluttering, and that's going to take about 5 minutes just to get all the air out of the system and get the water through. While that bleeds through, I'll now get the gas through the system. So again, the easiest way is on the hob, and again we're literally just holding the gas valves until we start to get the gas through. And we're just literally bleeding the system and getting all the air out and getting the gas through the system. And this will mean that when we come to light our fridge up, our heating up, it will all just light up a little bit quicker and easier. Now we have also got the electric ring at the back here, which is on our first dial. And again, that will then work just on electric. One thing just to always make sure is that these have all fully cooled down and that you've not left the electric in the on position. Let it all fully cool down and then we can put our glass lid down. Another thing to note as well is that sometimes our oven and grill won't work unless this glass lid is fully up. Just check the electric is fully working on that hob ring as well, so that's perfect. And then we've got our grill. And then just below we've got our oven. You'll now notice that we've got the water at a nice pace coming through on our hot water tap and our cold. We'll do the same with the bathroom tap and the shower and just get all of that air out of the system. Once we know that we've got no more air in the system and we've got a nice steady flow, we can then put our heating and hot water on, which we'll come to in a minute. With our fridge, we've got a main on and off button, and then we've got our individual controls. So we've got the gas, which again, you'll start to hear that making a ticking noise. You'll hear this ticking stop and you'll hear the gas roar up then. And then if we want to control how cold the fridge gets, it's just on this right hand side, and we can set the temperature then to where we want. If we want to use it on electric, just literally press our plug symbol. And then if we've got all 13 pins wired on the back of the vehicle, we can then run it off the car once that's started. And if we've got all 13 pins, that will then work on the 12 volt. To turn the fridge back off once you're finished, it's literally just hold that one back in. As I said, this Caravan has got the Alde central heating, so once we've made sure that the orange button underneath our seat is in the on position, that will then put the power through to our Alde central heating. We've got the main on and off button, and then when we press our menu screen, that will then let us set this to where we want it to be. So our very top section is our internal temperature, so we can set that to what temperature we want the Caravan to be inside. We've then got our hot water, so our first setting halfway along, that is just our normal hot water, so our heating and hot water will work together. We can put the hot water on a boost. Now when we put it on a boost, it will warm just the water up and do that for about 30 minutes, but in doing so it will turn the heating system off. So if you need hot water quickly for some reason, you can put it onto the boost and that will just warm the heating up, or the hot water up quicker, but it will turn the heating off. So for normal use, it's that first setting, and that will heat the hot water and put your heating on to whichever setting that you've got that on there then. We can then control it off either electric, so first we've got 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatts or 3 kilowatts, and that will then run on electric. If we hadn't got 230 volts and we wanted to run the heating and hot water on gas, we've got our gas symbol just at the bottom there, and it literally is off or on. That will then run to our thermostats, so the water heater will set up to about 70 degrees, and then whichever setting that we've put our heating on inside, that will just get up to temperature and just keep the Caravan warm. Once you've finished, again, just turn that all back into the off position. If press our off button there, and again that will isolate and turn the system off. Our lights, then we've got individual switches dotted around for our different lights. Little light switch right at the front here, you'll notice that we've got a little entrance light just at the bottom, and that switch there just puts that light on the bottom. Our spotlights have got individual little switches on. At the side we've got our kitchen light around the light or the window. We've got our bottom lights. Our little lights just above the kitchen area are by our door with our awning light, and then as we move into the bathroom, into the bedroom area even, sorry, we've got two light switches just underneath. We'll put our above cabinet lights on, and then again we've got our two spotlights just over the bed. And then in the bathroom we've got our little light switches just down the side of the sink unit that put all of our bathroom lights on. We've then got our cassette toilet, which the blue button on the top does our flush water, and then to let everything through we've got the little grey handle, and that just lets everything through and down into the actual cassette itself. In the kitchen area we've also got the microwave and the extractor fan. So on the extractor fan we can open the roof light up, and then our on and off button in the middle, we can then change the speed to extract out, and then we've also got the button that will let us blow cool air into the caravan and reverse the fan round, and that will then blow the cool air into the caravan. Once we've finished using that, just always make sure that you've made the roof light itself close back down, and again make sure that that's down before travelling. Microwave, so we've got quite a few different settings on here. We've got a quick start and then cancel and stop. One thing just always to make sure is that when we come to travel that we've removed the microwave plate, so just make sure that's out. I'll pop that underneath of this seat now so that that's in a position where you can travel and it's not going to cause any damage by falling out. Hopefully we've gone over all of the main operations and how to work everything. If there's anything that you're not sure on, just let us know, and again we can just talk you through on the phone. Thanks, I'm Mark at the Caravan Place.